Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at the new Marvel Legends SHIKLAH, also known as Who is SHIKLAH? It's a character that I'd never even heard of before, and I've heard of most of them. And I've heard from other people that most people haven't heard of this character either. And I get that it is a character, and all the Deadpool people probably know who she is, and it says on the box who she is. I get it, I'm mostly making a joke, but also, did anybody really want this figure? I don't know. They did a really good job with it in most respects, so that's a good thing. But do people want to buy it? That's the question, outside of the fact that it's got the Build-A-Figure part in there, which it doesn't have anymore. But did anybody want this? Let me know in the comment section below. Were you interested? Did you know who the character is? Any of those kind of things. Let's talk about that in the comment section below. But for now, we're going to talk about if the figure is any good. So let's go ahead and get it off the stand and take a closer look. This figure stands just about 6.5 inches, which makes it pretty close to, let's just say 17 centimeters. It's a little bit shy of that. And I just have to note, the very first thing that stands out to me is how nice the paint job on this figure is. This took a lot of budget. No doubt. No doubt it took a lot of budget. We have 3 different things going on the legs. Obviously we have the molded plastic, but then we also have the black, the gold, and the fancy. We have the fancy on there, which Marvel Legends don't get that kind of paint job, like ever. In fact, I can't think of another one that has a paint job like that. If you can, let me know, but I cannot. Why does this character have it? I mean, I know that it's supposed to look like that, and they did a great job with it, but why is the budget going into this? It's just such a strange thing to me. It's so strange. There's so much going on here. They painted this, which is a separate piece, well painted. They painted extra lines on her boobages, and then we have her necklace, which is a separate piece and painted well. They painted the gold on here, and it's all super clean. Like you can see, it's not perfect. This boobage line is a total different shape than this boobage line. Let's zoom in on the boobages and risk getting in trouble with YouTube. But you can see the paint's not perfect, but damn, it's clean. It's still really clean. And on top of that, let's look at her face. Holy macaroni. That is a really nice paint job. Yeah, they didn't paint the earrings properly, so it looks like she's got, what is it called? Gauged ears, those things that people get and then regret it when they need to go look for a job. Is that what that's called? Gauged? I think that's what that's called. It looks like she has gauged ears, but the earrings aren't that noticeable anyway. But the rest of the face, holy crap. They did such a good job on this release. That's why I think it's so interesting to note, if I'm right, that nobody cares about this character. Not obviously, I don't mean literally nobody. I mean the practical nobody, like virtually nobody. Like if you asked a random stranger, do you care about it? Odds are they'd say no. That kind of nobody. But damn, they did a good job. There's nothing wrong with it aesthetically from a paint perspective or an accuracy perspective, except, holy crap, is she skinny. Like if you saw somebody in real life that was shaped like this, you would think they had an eating disorder. And I'm not trying to make fun of people with eating disorders, obviously that's not a good thing, but holy crap is she skinny, like so skinny, like her ankle is the same size as her thigh, almost skinny. So incredibly skinny. She looks like the prostitute lady from Breaking Bad again. Why do we keep getting figures of that lady? She wasn't even likable in that show, and now she's getting figures left and right. It's weird. But she's so skinny. It's very unappealing, very strange. And I'm not saying she needs to be giant and buxom, because this character isn't that. But this is oddly skinny. So thin. Anyway, it still looks really good, and they didn't. I can't get over the paint job, honestly. This is probably the best Marvel Legends paint job ever. I don't care for the fact that they didn't color it on the back with the fancy painting, but I understand that, so I'm not even going to count it. From the front, this thing is incredible. Other than being too skinny, it looks good. I spent a lot of time talking about it because it stands out so much and it's so strange. Is anybody with me on that, or am I just spinning my wheels here? It's very odd that this is such a well put together figure, other than the sculpt. I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10. Even with a good sculpt, I'd still only give it a 9. But it would be a much stronger 9. But I've also conceded the fact that we're not going to get good sculpts for the females anymore, so that's why that's the way it is. Alright, as far as accessories go, we get this stupid shark dog thing, which I'm sure people know what it is. Maybe, whatever. You get it. It's a thing. If you like it, good for you. If you don't, then you're in the same boat as me, because I couldn't care less what it is. I don't know anything about this character other than what's on the bio for her package. And we have the dog shark thingy. So 5 out of 10, I guess. I don't know. That's a cool accessory. But again, the budget for these things that they're doing on this wave is so strange. So strange. So whatever. All right, on to the articulation. We've seen all this before, but I'll do it again anyway. The head still has a lollipop, but if you seat it right, like it is right now, it's definitely not too high, and you can't really tell. Like if you look in there, yeah, that angle right there is perfect. You can tell that the head's not seated properly, but it's fairly well hidden, and if you turn it a little bit, you're not going to notice, so that's okay. So you get that ball peg, pretty good rotation, even with the hair, and then of course if you use the hinge, you're going to totally dislocate the head, but just don't do that. She doesn't need to look straight down anyway, so just leave that. Oh my goodness, it's so tight. There we go. All right, so what I would do is just leave this where you want it, and then just leave the head on there and only rotate it around on that ball peg. That way you don't have to worry about the lollipop, and it's going to look okay. All right, for the shoulders, they go horizontal, so that's pretty good. Full rotation, of course, not counting the cape getting in the way. That is not something they can do anything about, so that's not a fault. No bicep swivel, but we get that down here, and so that's fine. Not quite 90 degrees out of the bend, but it's pretty darn close. Wrists have a swivel and a hinge. Cape is connected, not on the wrist things, but on a separate rope. So just be aware of that, I guess. Doesn't really matter either way, but now you know. This is a floaty piece. Diaphragm joint is not the best one we've seen, but it definitely gets the job done. She should be able to be posed no problem. I still can't get over that they did that paint job on this figure. Legs kick up no problem. Going back, not really. Out to the side, yeah, very little. It's almost like Spider-Man limitations right there. Thigh swivel is fine. Double jointed knees are pretty good. And then for the ankles, there are the atrocious high heels that are almost impossible to get the figure to stand on, but technically you get good range forward and back, and you get a swivel, which is just terrible. So good luck balancing this lady. But otherwise, the articulation is perfectly standard, so I'll give it a 7. It's such a strange thing. Like, I can't say it's a bad figure, because it's not. They did a good job. If the sculpt was not so anorexically skinny, this might be the best Marvel Legends figure of the year. It's oddly good for being the character that it is. So final verdict on this thing is a very confused 8 out of 10. You could say 9. It's strong. It's a strong release. If you wanted to buy this, buy it. You'll enjoy it unless you really hate the skinniness. It's so weird. I just can't get over this wave being so weird. Yeah, well, there it is. Now you know. So let me know what you guys think again in the comment section below. We'll talk about that. And if you haven't subscribed, do it. I have new videos almost every single day, and thousands and thousands and thousands, tens, hundreds of thousands of videos already on the channel. I'm exaggerating. It's only 4,000. But still, that's a lot. So come back for that. And in the meantime, keep collecting.